Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and it is Monday again. So Monday means I'm going to give you guys like an off Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and this week I've decided to go Naruto CCG again because I actually have a bunch of these decks. Generally, whenever I play a game, guys, I tend to collect hard, and I try to play all the different types of things that are like unique to that game. Now, this one is really fun because it is all of the Sand Village. And again, they were kind of introduced as villains, and like most villains, they get introduced within cartoons and anime. Sometimes they turn out to be heroes later on. So, Gaara is one of my favorite characters. I love the fact that he controlled sand. Um, and it kind of like in hindsight, he was basically like an earthbender in Naruto. So that was pretty sweet. So let's go over the deck and then you guys decide whether or not it was cool or not. Okay? So first up, we are going to be playing 2 copies of Gaara Childhood. And again, since it's in parentheses, these do not count towards my 3 of copies of Gaara altogether. So again, he'll have all of his things. He has his sand attributing down in the bottom. He has his sand village, male, Gaara, surge. When it's put into play, draw 1 card, a valid ability on him. When it is discarded due to the showdown, discard a card from your hand. So again, not the greatest, not the worst, but it does allow us to get a turn 1 Gaara, which is fantastic. Next up, we are going to be using 2 copies of Matsuri as her childhood. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, all of you out there, because I know that you guys have better memories than I do. She was one of the like Genin being trained by Gaara later on in the show. So Matsuri here again has Surge, Mental Power 1, Female Sand. Her effects are, while this ninja is in the same team as Gaara, this ninja is not counted in the number of ninjas for the team, allowing you to sneak an extra ninja in, cheating. And you can organize your teams during your opponent's mission phase. Again, she will lose these effects if she is, of course, injured, but she is an O2 and then a 0-0 when injured. So again, not exactly going to matter too much once that card is injured. Next up, I have 3 copies of Matsuri when she is actually a Genin, and one of them is foil, which is kind of cool. And we get a nice, just generic buff for the support ninjas. Other sand ninjas get the 0+1. And again, now we have her as Genin. She still has her mental power. So again, she's doing some pretty cool stuff. Finally joined the team. Awesome. Next, we're going to have Mikoshi. Mikoshi is another sand Genin, and I think she may have also been in the same squad. Again, mental power 1, turn 1, 0-0 type thing up here. Other sand ninjas get the offensive buff now. So now this says that they all get the 1-0, and she's going to be an O2, good supporter as well. So again, having them in the back row is going to give you what? Is that like an extra 4? Well, no, Matsuri would be the leader. Matsuri would go up to 3 because of her. Then the other one would go up to 3. It would be a team power 6 with those 2. So still pretty good for like early game. Next up, we're going to go ahead and call on his sister. We're going to call in Tamari. We're going to play 3 copies of this one, the Disciple of Sand. Again, with a little bit of mental power, finally getting some sturdiness when injured. The effect here, while you have another Sand Ninja in play, all of your Sand Ninjas get an extra +1/+1. So you put her as the support in the back row. The team of 6 goes up to 8. She's got the extra bit. That's going to be a team power 9. Only because it says other ninja. Otherwise, it could break 10 if she was able to pump herself. But again, that'd be just crazy. So a lot of good basic support. We're going to use 2 of our generic Gaaras here with the Battle Lust ability. During the exchange of jutsu, or the EOJ, if you have 3 or more wind ninjas, you may deploy this into one of the battling teams in any position. When this ninja is deployed, you can injure 1 ninja battling against it, so it's an immediate injure to the opponent. You do have to wait till turn 3 to play it, but it is going to be a 4-0-2-0. Still going to be Gaara, still going to have sand, but it deploys as a jutsu, which is kind of crazy. Next up, we're going to play 1 copy of Yashimaru. This is going to be one of the Sand Chunin Medical. This is, I believe, his uncle, if I'm not too mistaken. This is a valid effect, so this will be good when injured as well. When your Gaara of the Desert receives any damage, you may reduce the damage by 1. In that case, you will transfer 1 damage to this ninja. So again, this doesn't have to be within the team. You could leave this one as a generic support in the back row, but it is a good way to try to keep your boy healthy. Next up, we're going to have 2 copies of the Advisor of Sand. We're going to be using, how do I say this now? Sagesis, maybe? Sagesis? I'm not sure. It is going to have a nice healthy mental power of 3. We get a 3303 when injured and when healthy. Your Sand Ninjas cannot be affected by the effects of your opponent's mission cards, and a valid effect is that all of your Sand Ninjas will gain Surge, which is actually pretty good. So you might want to look that effect up, but it is, in fact, really fun. For our third base, Gaara of the Desert, we're going to choose him as this Genin form. This is a turn 5, and it will finally start costing cards from the hand to deploy this. 5-2 healthy, 4-0 injured. Both attack and defense here is the name of the effect. So when the attacker, during the mission phase, you may burn 2 chakra, move a ninja you control to the owner's hand. Move target ninja your opponent controls to their hand with entrance cost equal to the ninja that you moved. So again, you do have to plan that out a little bit. I'm not too sure why my screen went dark right there. Maybe I got too close with the card. I do apologize for that, but it is a good card. Next, we're going to use 2 copies of the Gaara Possessed. Because again, I just kind of play the game and I just use whatever cards I like. This will count as extra Gaaras because Possessed mode is a separate parentheses name. You could maybe tell it's a 4-0, so it's not going to cost from the hand. The effect here is Insanity. When this ninja is put in play, you remove one of your ninjas with both a wind and an entrance of 2 or more from the game. Generally, you're going to be doing this with a Gaara. In that case, draw 2 cards. The valid effect, this ninja can become the user of jutsu cards with the requirements Sand attribute plus an entrance of 5 or more, even though he does not have an entrance of 5 or more. This is showing that he is partially possessed by the Shukaku and giving him more battle prowess than he should have, which is good. It's very good. Next, we're going to have 2 copies of Yura, and I actually do not remember this character at all, but I think he's from Shippuden, because he's talking about the Akatsuki in his flavor text here. He is a Sand Jonin, 4-0, 5-2 healthy, 1-2 injured. Every Sand Ninja card in your hand gets a -1 hand cost, so that 4-1 Gaara is just coming into play. He's just coming into play. He's going to help you cut costs and just make this deck slightly more effective. Next, we're going to be using 1 copy of this Possessed mode. Let me try that again. 1 copy of this Possessed mode, and this one being the definition of the strongest. This ninja cannot be put in play except by sending one of your in-play Gaara with an entrance of 2 or more to the chakra zone during the mission phase. Valid at the end of your turn if this ninja is injured. Heal it. Crazy, right? And of course, he's got the 5 or more. But if yours is in play, we're not paying that hand cost. We're just going to do that. Move our Gaara to chakra and show that he has become possessed. Next, I had an extra copy of these, so I went ahead and I put the 3rd Kaze Kage in here because his combat ability in the bottom right-hand corner of the card is still Sand. So even though he's a puppet, he's Sand. His valid effect here, when an opponent's ninja would be moved to their hand by an effect, you may move it to your battle reward area and face down instead. Now, real quick, let's just go ahead and put the 3rd Kaze Kage down, and I'm going to dig back through our stack of... big stack of characters. And it was this Gaara that bounces your opponent's card back to their hand. So that Gaara teamed up with this Kaze Kage equals gaining that as a quick battle reward. And then you could just redeploy your own cards. So again, pretty fantastic. We are going to use 2 copies of the 5th Kaze Kage. This is from the Ninja War, as you could tell. And so this is very late story. This is him as a Satusa, so he's finally like we said, the Kaze Kage, the leader of a village. The ability Commander-in-Chief, if you control another Sand Ninja, this gets +1-0, and the cost of jutsu used by this are reduced by a single wind symbol. The same is true for Leaf, Cloud, Stone, and Mist. So yes, very much so will he be reducing costs. Also, his name is going to be considered Gaara, even though it is not Gaara, so we get more Gaaras. It's like adding powdered milk to your milk. You get more milk per milk. And in this case, you get more Gaara per Gaara. 1 second, I gotta... There it is. And the last card we're going to run in our ninjas, we are going to run a copy of the Shukaku himself. He is going to be Sand Animal Gaara. He's going to have Surge. He is still Sand. He is a 7 with a 1 hand cost. When this ninja's team wins any victory, the opponent moves 2 cards from their hand to the top of their deck in any order. He is going to super limit our opponent's options and decision-making ability. Also, he looks like a very cuddly Tanuki, and I really, really wish I had a sand raccoon right now as a pet. But that's neither here nor there. Those are our ninjas. Next, we need to go over the jutsu, so let me separate those right quick. And we've got 1 copy of Absolute Defense. It's going to be 1 wind, 1 generic, sand combat attribute plus entrance of 5 or more, so those other Gaaras can use this. Each of your ninjas become the target. The target cannot be affected by opponent jutsu during the turn. It makes a great defense, as you could assume. We run 2 copies of the Sand Clone. You can use this with any Sand Combat attribute player or a card. It will target the user of the jutsu. Place this card in any position in the user's team as a ninja with 4/2 power. Move this to chakra at the end of the turn or when it receives any damage. Would just be like the clone dissipating. But it's amazing because this could give you just a quick boost in strength. Could be all you need. Next, we've got 3 sand cocoons. You can either pay this generically on 2 or for 1 wind symbol. And again, if you're using the 5th Kazekage and he has at least 1 other person on the board, since everybody is sand, this could be cast for free. The requirement would be the entrance cost of 2 or more. Again, targeting the user. Move the target to its owner's hand. In that case, move a ninja with the same name as the target from your hand into the target's team in any position. If the user was not Gaara, move the ninja back to the hand during the end of the turn. If it was Gaara, this is a great way to actually heal your target because you'd be placing them back in healthy status. So just a quick think, but you could also upgrade from 1 Gaara to the next. We are using 2 copies of Sand Coffin. Now, this is an old jutsu. This is like literally the beginning of the game. Combat attribute of sand to wind. 1 ninja battling against the user. Either injure it or the power of the target will become 0/0 during the turn. Your choice. So again, if it's a fully healthy ninja, you could just go ahead and injure them. But if all you need to do is they're already injured and you need to knock them out, maybe they're like Naruto, gets a little stronger when injured, you can go ahead and 0 out the account, make it much easier to overwhelm those cards. Next up, we're going to use the Windblade Jutsu. Again, very early game. 3 wind, target a ninja, give it a damage. This jutsu cannot be negated. So again, pretty effective. I loved it. Thought it was really cool. Next card up would be the Wind Scythe Jutsu. You go ahead on 2 wind. You get to target 1 jutsu, negate the target, move it to the owner's chakra area. Then if the user was Tamari, injure the user of the target. So I know that sometimes I talk a little fast. I get a little too enthusiastic. We get to knock off a jutsu that the opponent's using. And if Tamari is the one using the jutsu, then we can also injure the person. So awesome. Next up, Wind Style Infinite Sandstorm Devastation, because super long names are a thing in Naruto. 3 wind again. Requirement, sand plus entrance of 5 or more. Every ninja battling against it is the target. You return those to the owner's hand. If you use this using the 3rd Kazekage puppet, you immediately put those ninja that were facing you into your battle prize area. So again, if it's a full team of 3, and maybe Tamari's in your team too, maybe she could use the Wind Scythe just in case they try to negate this jutsu. But overall, you should just be able to bank the prizes. The last jutsu, we're going to use 2 copies of the Wind Style Pressure Damage. And it is a ninja opposing the user. Move the target and the user to the owner's hand. Again, if the 3rd Kazekage is out, just bank the battle rewards. Moving into the missions, We are going to play one copy, Hidden Village of Wind. This is a permanent mission, so for the Yu-Gi-Oh players, this is a lot good. This is one that's going to maybe act more like a field spell for you, or a continuous spell. And for Magic players, this would be like a long-term enchantment. The effect, during the mission phase, you may apply one of the following based on the number of in-play Sand Ninja. If you have 3, Sand Ninjas get +1/1 during this turn and the next. If 4, draw a card. If 5 or more, the opponent must select one of their in-play ninjas and discard it. Any of the above effects cannot be duplicated. And I do believe this means, like, if you have 2 of these in play, and I can't remember if there's a rule against that, honestly. But if you were to do that, I don't think you'd be able to yeah, just trash two of your players. Next up, we're going to use 2 copies of the 9th match. And you'll notice this one is Hybrid Chakra from up in here in the top corner. The effect here is search for 1 Gaara plus an entrance of 2 or lower, or 1 Rock Lee Ninja in your deck or discard pile. Show it to the opponent, place it in your hand, shuffle your deck. So again, it just lets us search out what we need. We got 2 copies of the mission Protean. With this mission, you can search for 1 Jutsu or mission among the top 5 of your deck. Show it to the opponent, place it in hand. Return the rest to the top of the deck in any order you like. So basic cherry picking rules as far as like you must show it to the opponent in order to verify that you're not cheating. It's all good. We have 1 copy of the mission Gift. This allows you to draw 3, then move 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. So essentially a draw 2, but it's going to allow you to correct your hand if one of the cards was inopportune at the moment. And then we're going to finish out the deck with 2 copies of Master's Death, which is just a quick draw 3. So again, this is my Naruto CCG Gaara of the Desert build. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if you have, consider, telling me in the comment section. Other than that, guys, just go and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm not going to bother you with all the rest of the stuff right now. We'll probably do that again tomorrow. Go out, enjoy your day, my friends, and if you guys want to see the deck master for today for Yu-Gi-Oh, just stop back in a little bit and we'll have that ready for you, all right? Until then, my friends, have a wonderful time. See you later.